Magnificent Human. My name is Maria Leese, and I wrote The Realm of Unity, which is a utopian fantasy or guidebook home to yourself. Today, I want to talk about how to break free of the fear-based matrix. This is not your true home. We came from a place where we were all one. We came from a place where we were all connected. We all came from the source. And for some reason, known to the deepest part of your soul, you chose to come out of that place of peace and oneness into the realm of fear. So essentially, we are these badasses squashed into these tiny little boxes of fear. And so the good news is, it is not who you are. The good news is this has nothing to do with who you actually are. Who you are is so much greater and so much more powerful. And we are in the process of coming back to ourselves. We are in the process of rediscovering who we are. You can actually have fun with it. When you start to recognize this for the game that it is, it's actually quite fun. And you start to see that this is not real. None of this is real. We are ruled by so many fears. Fear of lack, not getting enough. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? Am I going to get seen? Am I going to get likes on Facebook? What happens if I don't? What if nobody sees me? What if somebody sees me? We're ruled by so many fears, and it saps our life force. But we're in a time of remembering. We're in a time where there is so much support for breaking free of your fears. Can you imagine who you would be if you weren't scared? How would you be living your life? What would you be doing? What if you had no fear of anything? Can you even imagine? Well, this is the task at hand. This is what we're all here to do. We're all here to break free of these fears that have been running us for so long, that actually have nothing to do with who we actually are. How many of you have seen Star Trek? Do you remember the holodeck? And they would create these programs to run, and they would walk in and it would be so real. So they're constantly trying to make the holodeck better and better so that it can be more and more real. And so we have created the ultimate holodeck here on planet Earth. We have this incredible playground in order to understand ourselves and to play. And when you start to wake up, when you start to understand that what this is around us is a giant matrix, and that we're here to break free of this matrix. It's like the ultimate escape room. Yeah? We're looking for the magic key to help us to break free. And a part of that breaking free, the key to breaking free, is learning to release your fears and no longer allowing them to be a driving force in your life. The number one thing you can do to break free of your fears is to recognize the illusion, to recognize the fear as the illusion that it is. So, have you heard of the acronym as FEAR being false evidence appearing real? That is one of my favorite, because it's really accurate. And that doesn't mean things aren't going to happen in this world. Of course, things happen. Things happen all the time. But nothing's ever really lost. If you trust what I'm saying, that we all came from this realm of unity, we came from a place where we were all at one, and that is where we will go back to. It's inevitable, but that is the path of human consciousness, and it is the path that we are on, that we are all on. And so in each and every moment, we have a choice. We can get sucked into the matrix, have a ball. If you do, that's okay. That's okay. That's what we came here to do. It's all a learning. There's never a point where you lose the game. No, you just keep going. It is never all lost. And so, one of the greatest fears that we share collectively in humanity is the fear of death. And that's the big one. And some would say that's really the only one that we have. And then all the other fears just stem off of that. And I think there's some validity to that. But the key to unraveling this is recognizing even the illusion of death. In every spiritual tradition, and masters and sages and people who've had near-death experiences, they all come back and say the same thing, that death is not the end, that it goes on. And so if there is no death, and we all meet again, and we really get that on the deepest core level of our being, then what is there to fear? We actually can step back and start living our life from fullness and joy and discover our deepest purpose and reason for being here. I want to encourage you to speak from your heart, to share from your heart, to get underneath the fear, to understand this whole fear matrix and how this isn't real. None of it is real, my friends. And when you get it, when you really start to get it, you will laugh. I hope this was helpful. I send you so much love.